Good morning, everyone. It's your girl Tally. I'm back again with another video. The purposes of my video is just to encourage women mainly, to just not settle for less, not live in a substandard, relationship, environment, whatever, just to just ascend and aspire and want more and just believe in yourself and believe in the God in you that he has better for you. And whatever situation you're in that does not speak to the life you want to live, does not give the life you want to live any justice, that you have the strength. Okay, I'm wishing and I'm praying for the strength for you guys to rise above it, to come out of it. I know there's many situations in my life that I had to come out of. Everyone has a different story. I do understand that. Okay, some people's story is much tougher. I understand that. I don't proclaim to have so much experience. I don't proclaim to have, I just don't proclaim that, I've been through the worst of the worst, okay? Because I know I've been very blessed. Okay, and I understand that. But still, in my maybe lack of experience, if that's what you want to call it, okay, I still have the desire, to see women come out and to see women be the best that they can be and not settle for less. All right. So if you want to knock me for that, that's on you. That's fine. But I'm still going to do what I do. Okay, amen, amen. I know you see the smile on my face and you're thinking, everything is 100% all the time. And, maybe it is 90%, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. Stop looking at other people's experiences to try to judge if you should listen to them or not. Okay, I was thinking, I know there's some people who are not going to listen to me because they feel like, I'm too young or I don't have enough experience. But at the same time, if we were both sick, let's say you were sicker than me, okay? Let's say you were sicker than me because, let's say we both got COVID, okay? We both got COVID. There's some people who got COVID. They down for a couple days, okay? I remember specifically because I got COVID. Memorial Day 2020 is when my symptom developed. That night, I went into a fever for 13 days. Now, I know people who caught COVID and they was only down for like 2-3 days. They had a fever for 2-3 days and they were good. I know someone who had a fever for one day and they were good for the rest of the day. And I'm like, how in the world do you get a fever for one day and you be good? When I had COVID, I was down for 13 days fever and I was popping Tylenols back to back every 4 hours because if, God forbid, I missed the 4 hour mark, I would have paid for it because my body it was so bad. It was so bad. It was not as bad as people on ventilators, and that's a problem we have. We love to compare ourselves to other people. Stop comparing yourself to other people. I know things are going to be different, but there's one thing we all had in common. We were both sick with COVID. We were both sick with the COVID disease at that time, or all three of us were sick. So that's the person who, had it for one day. That's me who was fever down for 13 days. And there's people who are on ventilator. We are both sick. And if a vaccine came out, guess what? All three of us is getting it because we were both sick with the same disease. No one is looking at each other saying, oh, you were more sicker than me, or you weren't as sick. You wasn't as sick as me, So that's what we do in another situation when it comes to like these relationship situations. We be like, oh, you don't know what I've been through. Okay, what you've been through is not close to what I've been through. I'm not gonna listen to you. And that's your downfall. That's your downfall right there. So if we're both sick, you know what I'm saying? Who cares who's sicker? Are you gonna say you're not gonna take the medicine? Let's pretend like there was medicine for COVID. Are you gonna say, or you're not gonna take the vaccine because you take the vaccine, no, I was sicker than you, so I'm not going to take the vaccine. What is you talking about? What is you talking about? I was sicker than you, so I'm not going to take the vaccine. You take the vaccine. What? Does that even make sense to you? It doesn't even make sense as it comes out of my mouth. So how does that make sense to people? You're not going to listen to somebody just because they haven't been through the exact same thing as you, or they haven't been through it as bad as you. No, we was both sick. We was both going through something. It's just not similar. That's it. So don't allow comparison to stop you from getting your healing, to stop you from getting your deliverance. Okay, I'm sorry. You guys, you probably heard in my other videos, I'm from New York, okay? And though I've been in Florida about 17 years now, like, I still see that I very much have some New York qualities. Like, when I speak with like some roughness behind my voice. And it's like, it's just natural. Like, I don't even know how to, like, I could catch myself, but I don't even know how to, like, stop that. Cause when I get passionate about something, I'm like, and then, you know what I'm saying? And then people think I'm angry or something, but I'm not angry. I'm just passionate. Okay. So that's definitely a New York thing. Like, when New Yorkers speak, they speak, you know what I'm saying? It sound a little rough, and then they yell, and I be like, my voice go up so high, my voice go up real high. I remember me, my mother, my brother, we used to live together in this apartment. And then we used to get into fights, and not like no physical fights, just like word fights, like yelling at each other. You know what I'm saying? Not nothing crazy disrespectful either. I think it used to be like me against my brother, and then my mom would jump in on my brother's side. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta be the loudest one in there. You feel me? So, and then the neighbors, they used to think that we was beating up my mom. That's what they said. They used to think we was beating up my mom, so they used to call the police on us. And I remember the maintenance guy had came past our house, and he said, how do you get your voice so loud? Like, I'm a DJ, and I feel like I can't even be as loud as you. Like, I can hear you from all the way outside in the parking lot. And I'm like, dang, I must be super loud. And they calling the police on us. It'd be crazy. But I just want everybody to know that, like, I do be all aggressive, I guess, you know what I'm saying, with my mannerisms, but I'm really not on that. Like, I really just want to see women do well, and I'm just passionate about women doing well. So back to what I'm saying, don't be comparing your situation to another person's situation just so you can take a pick at their story, so you don't have to listen to the good, the wisdom that they're saying, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that they coming with. You understand that? Okay. Me personally, I never try to look at nobody's story to see whether I should listen to them or not. Okay. I just have something in me that is just very responsive to wisdom. No matter where it's coming from, I'm going to take it. No matter where it's coming from, I'm just going to receive it. And I'm not going to ask you where you've been through, what's your story, because I know wisdom when I hear it. The first chapter of Proverbs in the Bible, what it said? It say wisdom is calling out in the streets. Wisdom is calling out in the streets. And what are people doing? Just passing it by. And you know what? In today's day, there's different reasons why people passing wisdom by. They ignorant. They're not trying to hear it. They don't know wisdom when they hear it. They're looking at that person and be like, oh, please, wisdom can't come from you. You're too young, or you haven't been through enough. You don't have enough experience. Oh, you trying to give me advice? Look what you've been through, and you trying to give me advice, So it's either you don't have enough experience to give somebody advice, or you've been through too much, like you've allowed too much in your life, so why would you give somebody advice? No, what I've been through, if I've learned from that, if I process that, if I heal from that, and I'm trying to help somebody get on a different level, all right, then let it be. Okay, because at the end of the day, what's the purpose of that? That's what you have to ask in life. The purpose of things. The purpose of this is to set some women free. It's to give women the strength to overcome. And so who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that? Is there somebody who's going to come at me because I'm trying to get women to come out and to be their best selves? why would you want to try to contradict that? Why would you want to try to like, you know what I'm saying, to get in the way of that in any way? Okay, now I got to question what purpose you coming from, where you coming from with it, you know? So at the end of the day, if my motive, if my intentions are good, let that be. If someone else's motives and intentions are good, let that be, and let that purpose prevail. Because if it's gonna bring healing and deliverance to people's life, let it be done in Jesus' name. All right. I just had to get that out before I get my topic of the video out, bro. So lately, I've been going around, I've been around people who, when we talking about physical abuse and when we talking about domestic violence, in relationships, they say things like, oh, you don't know that person's situation. They give me an example of a woman who has 7 kids. Why would you... Okay, you guys, I'm sorry. I was interrupted. I'm at work right now. So if a manager come in, I got to shut it down. But I came in this car to finish my message because it's just so important that I get out to you guys what has to be said. All right. And I just don't want to lose the flow of it. So here it is. So like I said, I've been around people who, they gave me an example of a woman who has 7 children, and they just reasoning with the idea that, we see like her husband is physically abusing her. Not only is he physically abusing her, he's actually not paying no bills, this and that. So, emotional abuse, that verbal abuse, everything. So what they saying is that they see why she can't just automatically get up and leave, because she has 7 children with the man. And in my head, like, I don't care, like, okay, fine, I'm unmarried, I don't have no children, not yet. That day will come for me, but it's not now. That's fine. But so I understand there's some women out there with children who's not gonna want to listen to me. All right. So if you're not going to want to listen to me as on a woman to woman level, listen to me as if I was your daughter. I didn't grow up seeing physical abuse in my household. You know what I'm saying? But I know that what went on in my household, which it was just like a big disconnect. Like, my parents, they just wasn't in love with each other. My mom, she was, she wasn't in love with my dad. My dad, he wasn't in love with her. There was like no affection. At one point they weren't even sleeping in the same bedroom. Now, with that being said, even that took a toll on me. I don't know what effect it had on my brother, because I can't speak for his experience, but I'm pretty sure it did. So even watching my parents grow up in a household that was unaffectionate, my dad not taking, a leadership role in that household, just falling back, even that, it had an effect on me. And I still feel that in my heart, in some ways it makes me feel like I have to work for love, and I always have to catch myself like, Tally, you're deserving of love. You don't have to do nothing to work for love, So even that, it had a bit of trauma that I had to get over. So imagine me, if you don't want to look at me as a woman, look at me as your daughter. And she has to grow up seeing her mother being physically abused by either her dad or some man. Like, me personally, I will never be able to rationalize staying with a man, no matter how many kids you guys have, no matter what situation it is, no matter if you have no job, no skills, no experience. I can never rationalize staying with a man who puts his hands on you. How I believe it, you need, and it's not even how I believe it, it's how it is. Because a man who puts his hands on you, he hates you. He does not like you, and he will eventually kill you. If you don't believe me, go look up how many physically abusive situations lead to death. Because there's so many of them. Okay, go lead to those things, lead to death. Okay, like please. So please do not ever, I will never rationalize a situation where a woman should stay with a man who abuses her. Okay, you need to leave immediately. You need to leave immediately, because if, let's say it's the first time this man puts his hands on you. Let's say it's the first time this man puts his hands on you. Okay, if it's the first time this man puts his hands on you, you basically on that first time, basically for the first time this man puts his hands on you, he's probably going to be remorseful for that time, because every man who puts his hands on you, they're like remorseful, right? They're like, oh my God, I shouldn't have done it, even though he's going to do it again. Okay, that's the time where he's so shocked about it that even for himself, that he's going to allow you to leave. Okay, so that's the time you should take the opportunity to leave. After a while, when he keeps doing it again, and he will do it again, make no mistake about it, this man will do it again, then he's gonna get comfortable with putting his hands on you. Now when you try to leave, it might be an issue. Some furniture might be moving. Okay, so you need to take your opportunity to clear it and leave when you can. I don't care how many children you have. And I'm not saying that to sound like I'm disconnected. I'm not saying that to sound like, I don't care about your situation, because I really do. But I'm saying that I want you alive, and I want your children to grow up in a healthy environment. That's what I'm saying. So with that being said, like, I want women to understand that there is no place for a man putting their hands on you. There is no situation where you can say that he put his hands on me, and for some reason, for this reason or another, I have to stay and endure that. Absolutely not. I don't care if he makes all the money, you don't have access to the account, you have no job, no skills, you have children. That is not a reason to stay. That is not a reason to stay. Ever, 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 ever. There's nothing to rationalize a man putting his hands on you. There's nothing to okay, I don't want to say in my book, okay, because I want other women to feel this. I want you guys to feel this and understand that there's no way to justify this at all. And it doesn't matter what you got going on, that you need to leave immediately. Okay, because you don't know what this man got going on. A man who put his hands on you, he already have a screw loose. He already not all the way together. So you don't know where this is gonna lead to. And that's what you have to understand. He doesn't love you. That's impossible. Okay, so that's what you gotta understand. Okay, that's what you gotta understand. And that's what you gotta stick by. Because at the end of the day, okay, your life is on the line. With any man who puts his hands on you, your life is on the line. Ladies, and there's never been let me know in the comments. But I know people who do this relationship coaching stuff, who really do this, who've been doing this way longer than I have. I just started this a few months ago. I know people who've been doing this 14 plus years. Okay, and they have never found an instance where they could say, this man used to beat me, he used to put his hands on me, but he doesn't no longer. They have never come across the instance. I'm sure there's somewhere in this world where someone could say that. Okay, somewhere in the jungle of Africa, I don't know, of India, that they could say, the man who used to put his hands on you. So that they could say, oh, my man used to put his hands on me, but he don't anymore. Okay, I'm sure there's someone in this earth who could say that, but you're willing to bet your life on him? Okay, 99.9% of people don't have that experience, but for some reason you think you're the 0.01%. What? Ladies, you have to get out. You have to get out now. You have to get out immediately. You have to love yourself. You have to figure out, why would you grow up? Why would you put your hands on? Why would you allow a man to put your hands on you? Why would you grow up thinking it's okay? Why would you allow your daughter to go through this? If you don't want your daughter to go through this, why would you put yourself through it? Because that's what you're teaching your daughter. That's what she's gonna learn from you. get out. And get out as fast and as quickly as you can immediately. I know you don't want to take those 7 children over to your mama house. You're going to let your pride get in the way of that. I know you don't want to take them 7 children over to your friend, your best friend house. But you're going to let your pride get in the way of that, get in the way of your life. It don't matter what you have to endure. Okay, if it's worse than physical abuse, I don't know. I don't think there may be some instances worse than that, but we're not justifying physical abuse. So yes, so it don't matter. So it don't matter what you have to endure. Your life is on the line. So if you gotta sleep on the floor with all 7 of your children for a couple months until you get on your feet, okay, then you gotta make it shake. You gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, you want your children to lose their mother, or you want your child to grow up your daughter to grow up thinking that's okay, and you want your son to grow up thinking that's okay to put his hands on a woman? No, love yourself, love your children, and get out. And that's my message to you guys today. Thank you. Love y'all.